Hey guys, welcome back to our channel, Cape Cod Like a Local. Today is the second installment of our monthly tips. So through 2023, we're going to be doing monthly tips on all sorts of things. And today, based on the fact that it's February and we just got through a ridiculous deep freeze, and that coupled with recent energy increases from both electrical and heating suppliers, I figured we'd talk about how to maybe save some energy in your home. We're going to be talking about three areas: electrical, heating costs, and solar. And one of the best things you can do as a start is just contact your heating suppliers, be it a gas, propane, heating fuel, oil company, and just ask them if they have any programs where they'll do a heating assessment. Many times they get incentives from the state to do heat assessments to find out how much heat you're losing. And if they have that, fantastic. Schedule it, get them in there and see what they say about where you're losing heat. Once you know that, then you can specifically address the issue. The other thing here in Mass is we have a program called Mass Save. We've spoken about this many times because we love it. Just give them a call and have them come in and do a heat assessment, energy assessment. They will look at weather stripping, they'll look at foam sealing, insulation in your attic, whether it makes sense to add more there. They can assess your windows and doors, so they can really give you a big picture of what's going on, and then they can even help you with incentives or low cost or even some free items. And how do we save electricity? You can do things very, very simply. Rather than replacing all the systems. Now, if your systems are ready for an upgrade, always look into the high efficiency ones. They'll cost you more up front, but they'll save you money for years to come. Our place up in New Hampshire used to have a water heater, big water heater that had to keep that water up to temperature all the time. That sucks up a lot of energy, especially in a cold climate. What we did was we added on demand. When that thing kicks in, it only has to heat the water that we're using. After that, it kind of goes into a dormant mode. It does not have to maintain 55 gallons of hot water. Very simply, go around and look at your light bulbs. Just replacing every light bulb in the house with an energy efficient LED light can save you a bundle of money over the course of the year. We did simply solar lights, little tiny solar lights that I think I got at like Job Lot or something like that. They were $7 or $8 a piece, and I just lined my walkway. Now, it's not super bright, but it is enough to get up and down the stairs at night if there's no lighting there, or if my mom's coming, I flip the lights on and give a little bit extra. And speaking of exterior lights, if you have a spotlight or a floodlight or an entry light that you use, put that light on a timer. Many times we come in and we're carrying things or we don't even think about it and we leave a light on. If that's the case, the timer will shut it off. We have a timer now that shuts it off. After we're in the house for a few minutes, that light will automatically go out. And if we walk out again, it's motion sensor. It'll turn back on for us. But motion sensors and timers are fantastic so that you don't go to sleep and leave the outside of your house lit up like a Christmas tree. And getting back to the hot water tanks, if you have a hot water tank, you can buy an insulating blanket that fits right over it. You just wrap the whole thing up, and that's just going to really help with the heat loss from that hot water tank. And another place where we use electricity, and most people don't even realize it, is things like your TV, laptop computers, game consoles, things like that. Even though you're not using them and you've turned them off, those are still burning energy, and it can really add up. So there's a couple of ways you can handle that. And many times in your home, you'll have a switched outlet. If it's in a convenient spot, plug that into the part of the outlet that goes off when you hit the switch. So instead of shut it all down and having it there burning energy, just shut that switch off and you've killed the power supply to that. When you come back in the room, switch it back on. Either that or a power strip with a switch on it. Plug it all into a power switch, tap that switch, tap that button, and it's off. So that'll really help save energy over time with those types of items. As for heating and cooling costs, really the biggest thing there is to really find out where you're losing energy, where you're losing heat, or where the heat's getting into your house in the summertime. And that generally can be anything from crack sealing. I'm redoing my basement before I get really going on it. I've gone all around the edges and I've sealed everywhere above, especially along the foundation, between the foundation and the framework, any place where they might have drilled through to put a hose or a pipe to the outdoors, seal around those really well. This also helps with things like mice and such. Around windows and doors, just any place you can see that there's a draft coming through or you might be losing heat, just get some foam sealant and seal that up. Then the other thing you can do there is around the top of the foundation, you can insulate around there. Many times you go in and a basement's wide open, there's no insulation at all. And it doesn't necessarily have to be fully insulated under the floor as long as you take care of the perimeter. So just get some bats of insulation and cut sections and just stuff them around the edges. That will help to reduce a lot of the heat loss and a lot of the cold from getting into that space. Again, anytime you're replacing systems, always look for the more efficient ones and ask them to give you an analysis of how much it would save you on average, because the heating costs are going to keep going up. So those savings should really add up over time and be better than they're probably projecting at the time of sale. And aside from systems like heating and cooling systems, is windows and doors. Huge source of loss, especially in older homes. They have the old school weights. Those are hollow pockets right there. Those are notorious for heat gain and heat loss. So, look maybe at replacing your windows and doors if they're really old and really drafty. That not only helps with the heating and cooling, it helps with the comfort of the home and it helps with security. And if that's too big of a job or you really love them and you don't want to get rid of them, look into maybe some, really nice storm windows and storm doors. Less expensive. They can really cut drafts and really improve the energy efficiency of your home. And something as simple, you step down from there. I've got a home that's almost 150 years old up in Hampshire. Drafty old windows. We love them. The idea of replacing all of them is a nightmare because there's a ton of them, number one, and it's a pretty old house. So we kind of like the way they look, but they are drafty. So what we've done is gone on the inside and we put it's like a vinyl replacement window and we just stuff it in there. It's got a foam around the edge. They push right into the window openings and it really helps with the comfort of the house and also to keep the heat loss down. I'll have Tori post a link to the company that we use. They were fantastic on those interior storms. And lastly, solar. Solar has been a big thing. A few years ago, it was a big concern when selling property. Oh my gosh, what if it has a leased solar system? That's not so much of an issue now. We've done so many of them and we see more and more of them every day. And eventually, every home will have some features that are solar, whether it's roof panels or some of the newer products they're coming out with. But solar, I know many people who have fantastic savings, and it's a great product if you understand it, you do it right. So your options basically are you can either lease the product or you can buy it outright. So the thing is to sit with someone who really knows the business and that you can trust and have them explain both options to you. Because the upside of owning the panels is that you get all of the incentives and the rebates and things like that from the government when you purchase them. If you lease them, those go to the people that install them, I believe. And the other thing is you can set up an SREC account, which is a Solar Renewable Energy Credit account. And basically what that does is that sets up, you have a meter on your solar system, and any electricity that you don't personally use, but your system generated, can be sold back to the grid. So you get quarterly checks for that. So look into solar, really go through the numbers both ways. If I lease it or if I purchase it, and you'll be able to make the best decision for your family. Another thing is just kind of make a game out of this. Start small. Start with the ceiling, caulking, joints on windows and sealing around things, and then the blanket for your water heater. A lot of little things, the light bulbs, a lot of little things that you can just start doing and just take your time and bang them out. And, you know, kind of, I don't know, it builds a little momentum, and it's really good overall for everybody if we can start saving more energy and bring those costs down. So that's about it for this week. I hope you find this useful. I hope you do take action on these things too. And we'll put some links to some of these resources for you. If you have questions about who you should hire for Windows, anything like that, feel free to give me a call. I do not make anything for that. It's just a service I'm happy to provide for my clients. So we'll see you next week. How do my teeth look?
I can't see them. They're very far away.
Okay. But if she falls, I'll bury her up back.
I don't know. It's a demographic.
And we're going to be covering basically, well, that was weird. The other thing you can do, especially, can really help cut the drafts and really improve the energy efficiency. So it's weird when I fade off like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that how